Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. This is the Paragon Warlock, and this is a really interesting knife. It's a dagger, of course, and I really do enjoy this knife. It's a lot of fun, but it is an interesting knife, and we'll get to whether or not I can recommend it as an EDC. But let's go ahead and talk about, first of all, stud fishing. Thank you so much for sending this knife to the channel for review. I really appreciate it. I appreciate being able to do the disassembly video, and I appreciate being able to take this apart. It's people like you that help make this channel possible for everyone else. So thank you. Second, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. The most interesting size comparison, I think, is the Microtech Socom Elite, mainly because it does well as a size comparison, but also because it has a similar build in that it's an aluminum build, just like this one, and the blades are similar sizes, although one's a dagger, and it has a similar feel to it for the most part. Let's go ahead and also look at the XM18, the Freeman Knives 451, since stud fishing will be getting this knife too when I send this one back. Here is the Benchmade 940 and the Benchmade Bugout. And just because perspective on these cameras, it's not completely overhead, so you'll see that the perspective is a little bit different. Here is the Benchmade Griptilian, and then we'll do some Spydercos last but not least, the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and Para 3, and then we'll go ahead and swap these so you can see the perspective change. All right, so the first thing that you will note is that this is not a small knife by any stretch of the imagination. This is quite a large knife, in fact. That's sort of by design. It's very interesting. This is not going to be legal in all places, so for a couple of reasons. One is that sorry, I'm not able to swing it out as easily under a camera, but I've actually gotten this down pretty well. One of the reasons is it's a dagger, it's double-sided. So check your local jurisdiction to make sure that you can have a dagger blade if you decide to carry it. Second, it is a gravity knife, and that is because gravity, the force of gravity, is what brings the blade in and out of this mechanism. Again, it's hard to swing under this camera. In fact, I'm going to raise the camera up a little bit so we can take care of that problem. So, as you can see, it swings out by gravity, and it's a lot of fun to play with, but very illegal in a lot of places. Let's go ahead and talk about the good and the bad of this knife, and we'll talk about Asheville Steel first. So Asheville Steel, and I've spoken to the owners of the company, is a small knife shop. I think it's a family-owned business, and they were very, very. I talked to the, I guess I would say the husband. And he was excellent on the phone. His name escapes me at the moment, so I'm sorry if you're watching this, but he was excellent on the phone with me, answered all my questions. I actually had a question about this knife. I had a concern, sorry, stud fishing, that it might have been a clone because it was assembled backwards. Also because it had a couple different features than some of the other Paragon Warlocks. I did confirm with him this was an earlier version of the Paragon Warlock. The newer versions have a couple of different features. Also, there's a cross version here that has a different handle. So there are multiple versions of this. One of the nice things about this is they come in a lot of different colors in the blade. They come in a lot of different colors in the aluminum. They come in different designs on the aluminum. They come in different designs on the blade. So, this pattern here with the cross, and then with the, with the scoops here, or the rock pattern, or whatever you want to call it, that is not on every blade, and so you can get different types of blades on this. So that's really cool. I really like that. Those of you who watched the disassembly video, the construction on this is pretty simple. It is just one slab of aluminum, a button here, a button here. It's got a couple of little pins in here, 2 pins on each of the buttons, and then it's got some milling on the inside and a spring in between the two buttons, and the spring is what keeps the tension here, and then when you push the spring down, it forces the two parts, the sides apart, and then you can bring it back. Now, it does not swing out both ways. It will only swing out one direction. So if you flip it, it'll swing out left-handed. And what I mean by flip it is you can either just flip it right here and flip the pocket clip, or you can literally disassemble it, flip the blade to the other side, and you can get the blade to come out with on the right side this way. So that's one of the good things I like about this, is it's very, very left or righty friendly, and you can assemble it or disassemble it into any configuration that will allow the blade to come out right-handed to the left or left-handed to the right. So I think that's great. Another thing is, like I said before, this is a lot of fun. If you are a fidgeter, you will very much enjoy the action on this. It is extremely smooth. I've had a couple questions about other people since the disassembly video who've had some less smooth action. Throw a little bit of oil in there, or a lot of bit of oil if you desire, and you will find that the action on it is great. Sometimes they come a little dry, and you just have to oil it up. So and these are pretty easy to take apart. The only thing is, and I'll mention this, as I said in the disassembly video, if you do take these apart, there is a spring in here, so you have to maintain pressure on these while you unscrew it. Otherwise, they will just pop off and you'll lose some screws and lose the button. So just make sure you deal with that. All right, so that's the good on this is also the designs. The designs on here look really cool. They look kind of druidish. They sort of evoke, they have sort of a wizard vibe. There's a black one with a red blade that's like a dark Jedi or Sith vibe. And they have, the Jedi ones with the blue blade or the green blade, like it's a lightsaber. So they've got all sorts of ones. I think they even have a white and black Stormtrooper one. They've got all sorts of different ones that they're just a lot of, whatever your personality is, you can find one of these to fit your personality. So that's good as well. The pocket clip actually goes in and out of the pocket really easily, and the pocket clip screws are T8, so I have to commend them for that. I'll say overall the construction on this is really, really good. The fit and finish on this, I'll say the finish on this is excellent. The fit on the knife, the fit is good for what it is, and the reason I say that is because when you have a knife that only is held together at one point like this, you're going to have fit issues on this end, regardless of how well you machine it. So it's not the fault of Asheville Steel. It's just the knife design itself, because you're essentially having no anchor point from here down. You're going to have, the scales if you can push them to the side, you can push them down, because that's just the nature of the knife. But otherwise, the fit and finish on this is excellent. The steel on this, I believe, is S30V. You can't really see it anymore. It's here, but it's sort of, as the knife goes in and out, that wears off. But I believe the steel is S30V. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. That's a good steel, and the heat treat on this seems fine to me. It didn't come, this was a used blade when I got it, and it didn't come incredibly sharp, but I think that's because of the fact that it is a used blade, not because of the company. I've seen other reviews online that show that this does come sharp, so I'm not necessarily worried about that. But the S30V on this, I've used this to cut up some boxes, cut up some EDC tasks and all sorts of other things. I have no problems with the heat treat on this. It seems like it's very well done, and so I do have to say I like that. All right, let's talk about some of the bad. So some of the bad is this is sort of an awkward profile to carry for a couple reasons. One is the clip is here, and you're going to have this much knife sticking up out of your pocket. It makes it easy to pull in and out of your pocket, but it really is a lot of, sticking up out of your pocket, and it's a weird shape to be sticking up out of your pocket. So just be aware of that, and especially if you have one of the ones with the colored aluminum handles. Let's say you have like a bright blue or something like that. If this much is sticking up out of your pocket, people are going to see that, especially if you're wearing something like khakis or anything like that. So just be aware of that. Also, the actual profile itself, it takes up a good bit of room in the pocket. Is it terrible? No. I mean, you know, here's a paramilitary 2. So you can see that the paramilitary 2 is just as wide as this is. So it really isn't bad, but it does take up, you know, a significant amount of room in the thickness. So you can see here's a paramilitary 2, and the thickness here, it is extra thick. It's a little bit of a chunky boy because, again, you're having the 2 slabs with a knife in between. So just be aware of that. As far as the price on this is, I believe they range from around $225 to like $250. I don't think I've seen too many above that. I think there's some limited editions that might be a little bit more than that, or special editions that might be a little bit more than that. But generally, $225 to $250 is where I see them, and they go for. You can find them between $200 and $225 on the secondary market, and so the question is it worth the money? So I'll tell you like this. If your goal is to have something to fidget with, and you really are going to get a lot of enjoyment out of the fidgeting of this, and you're going to do most of that fidgeting inside your home, I think this is excellent and totally worth the money. If you are a collector and you just like, you know, having different knives in your collection, totally worth the money. If you were using this as an EDC, I will say that this is not really the best EDC option. Can it be EDC'd? Yes. It is easier to EDC than some other knives that I've seen people EDC. Like, you know, people try to EDC the Benchmade Adamas. This is much easier to EDC than the Benchmade Adamas. It's not really a whole lot worse EDCing than the Socom Elite. You know, it is around the same size and around the same shape overall as the Socom Elite. So if you like the Socom Elite, you know, then, which I really do, then I think it is EDCable. But the difference between the Socom Elite is that it has a really usable blade shape that isn't going to scare the crap out of people unless they're really, really scared of just large blades. Whereas you pull out a dagger gravity knife, and a lot of times people are scared. So you have to be careful where you're going to take this to. If you're going to carry this, I would suggest wearing a a backup knife that isn't going to scare the crap out of people, like the EWC or something like that. So that's I think that's the review. If you have any questions or anything about it, because I know a lot of people have questions about this knife, go ahead and drop a comment below. I'm happy to answer it. If you've owned one or anything, just love to hear feedback down below as well. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all my content, and also hit the like button if you felt this was of value. Thank you so much.